does ReOpen San Diego exist? Aren't we already reopened? And the way that we feel at ReOpen San Diego is that as long as there are unconstitutional COVID mandates in the law, we will fully fight until we are completely free. My name is Amy Reichert, and I'm the co-founder of ReOpen San Diego. Back in November of 2021, the San Diego City Council, which meets here at City Hall, passed an unconstitutional ordinance. The ordinance said that if you're not vaccinated, you can't volunteer for the city of San Diego. You can't sit on a board or commission, and you can't hold elected office. Well, we as a group got together and we said, we will not stand for this. This is wildly unconstitutional. It's against the 4th and 14th Amendment. It's also against the California State Constitution, as well as the San Diego City Charter. Also, it is anti-science. Let me explain. On August 11th, the CDC released its new guidelines. In its new guidelines, it said that the COVID vaccine had minimal protection that's transitory. Let me repeat that. The CDC released in their guidelines that the vaccine is minimally protective and transitory. For this reason, the fact that it is unconstitutional, and also it simply is not the silver bullet that they promised it was going to be. Plus, we have a lot of safety concerns too. So remember, we went from safe and effective, we were told, now to minimal and transitory. So that's a huge far cry. And so that's why we're here today, to stand against this unconstitutional ordinance, and that's why we filed in federal court. So today we're going to have a couple speakers up here to talk about our federal lawsuit, and they have been personally affected by it. So please welcome Diane Ake.
My name is Diane. I've lived in San Diego for 30 years. I love San Diego. I'm so blessed to have been able to go to wonderful symphony concerts, theater shows, including right over here, museums, and I thought, well, since I'm semi-retired, I have more time, maybe I can volunteer with the San Diego Arts Commission. So I looked into it, and I discovered that they required proof of COVID-19 vaccination just to be able to volunteer with them. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. And I started to look into it, and I learned that it's an incredible violation of privacy rights under the California Constitution. And also, people have the right to refuse unwanted medical treatment, and they have a right to bodily integrity. That's protected under the U.S. Constitution. In fact, it's so enshrined in our nation's history and traditions that it has special protection under the 14th Amendment. This law is so extreme, I just can't understand why the city has this, especially in light of the fact that county data clearly shows that people who have had the COVID shot don't really have any different rate of reports of getting COVID or transmitting it. So clearly this law is not about protecting people against any kind of disease. I have a master's in public health, and I went to San Diego State University. They have a great program, very thorough. We had a lot of training in health research, and I learned a lot about the need to protect people's personal health data, as well as informed consent. And that's just not what's going on in this situation. Every citizen should be able to have equal access to the city regardless of their vaccination status. The judge in the lawsuit that ReOpen San Diego filed against the city, as already mentioned, struck down their motion to dismiss twice because they didn't have any good legal arguments. It's so likely that they're not going to win this lawsuit, so they should just stop wasting taxpayer money and drop the suit. And that's why all of us are here today. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming today, making the signs, taking time out of your schedules to ask the city to drop the illegal lawsuit. Thank you. Next we have Mary.
Yay!
Good morning. Beautiful day for a rally, isn't it? Yes, to celebrate freedom and rights. So I'm a retired police dispatch supervisor for San Diego PD. I worked 33 years for the city, and I decided too that I would like to go back and volunteer. And I went to Patrick Henry, and I thought Alley Gardens or San Carlos a perfect way to get back. But no, there's a vaccine requirement. And the irony for me is, even though I'm considered at risk, I've had COVID twice. I breezed through it. I'm a big believer in vitamin D, by the way. But the issue is, I have natural immunity, a very robust natural immunity that is now well recognized by science, but often ignored by politicians. And so my problem is, they want to force a vaccine on me for COVID, but for some reason not the flu or other communicable diseases. So I'm not quite sure why this one is different, but I don't believe I should be held to that standard. I don't think I should be locked out from opportunities. I'm also very concerned about what this ordinance and the mandates, both for employees as well as volunteers, is doing for staffing levels. For example, I pulled a public records request. Staffing for the city is 11%. That was 4 or 5 years ago. It's up to 16.7% vacancy rate in 2022. If that trend continues, soon they could be up to 1 out of 5 empty chairs in every office in San Diego. So that's an issue, and my next request is going to be pulling for volunteers. It seems to me that this must be a burden in precluding people from volunteering. I am as safe as the next person. The CDC has said that transmissible, it's transitory, you can still catch, get, and die, and transmit it. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and let's keep fighting this illegal ordinance. Thank you.
That's right. You know, and I just want to recap what's happened in the past year. So it all started with, if you get the vaccine, you won't get COVID, right?
Yep.
Oh, the vaccine is 99.9% effective. Oh, and then the next thing that came up is, well, there are rare breakthrough cases. Then the CDC announced, oh, well, actually, if you're vaccinated, you're just as likely to catch COVID and transmit COVID. Then we were told we still needed to have a mandate when President Joe Biden said, if you get the vaccine, you won't go to the hospital or die. Well, we certainly know at this point that that is not the case. And in fact, the last couple of months in the county of San Diego, 11 out of 13 people who have passed away with COVID were fully vaccinated. So, in light of this new information, and in light of freedom, we are asking the city of San Diego to take back this ordinance and sunset it forever, because it doesn't belong here. Right now, I'd like to have Clifton Quinn come up here. Clinton? Can you please read our statement from our attorney?
Absolutely, and to me, I'm a retired college professor. It's just amazed we still have to be here. Knowing what we know now, what's going to happen this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium, or next weekend? Sold out. What's going to happen at Petco Park? Sold out. Thousands and thousands of people realize this should be behind us, and we're dealing with this with the city of San Diego. Insanity. It's insanity. So these are not my words. I'm reading a statement right now. Last fall, the San Diego City Council approved a discriminatory and unscientific policy to eventually exclude all people who have not been vaccinated for COVID-19 from all city buildings, city meetings, city jobs, even volunteer positions, elected office, and commissions and boards. We called out this unconstitutional and unscientific policy and demanded that the city rescind it immediately. Of course, the city dug in, so we filed a lawsuit in federal court arguing that the city cannot require elected officials, commissioners, board members, and volunteers to provide proof of COVID vaccination without violating the Constitution. The policy violates all people's rights to due process, privacy, and the First Amendment rights of free speech and free association. The city ignored our demands to rescind the policy and tried to get our lawsuit dismissed. Not once, but twice. Both times it failed. So earlier this month, Judge Curiel issued a firm ruling against the city's second attempt to dismiss our lawsuit. He found that the city's motion relied upon old law and ignored the evolving law and science applicable to COVID-19. He ordered the city to respond to our complaint by September 7th. It will do so. In the meantime, we continue to demand that the city immediately rescind its COVID-19 vaccination policy. If the city continues to refuse, we will ask the court to issue an order enjoining it from enforcing this unconstitutional, unscientific, and discriminatory policy. So today, we call for everyone to urge your city council members to support rescission of this policy in its entirety at the upcoming September 13th meeting. Please call, write, and speak with them. Thank you for your support. Together, we will defeat this mandate and make sure the city of San Diego is open for all individuals.
Excellent. Clifton Quinn, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like more information about ReOpen San Diego, go to reopensd.org. There you can read the actual lawsuit. You can read the judge's answer. You can donate to ReOpen San Diego and help us win. Thank you very much. Have a great day.